Okay. Hello, Miss Anita. Good morning. Good morning. I am trying something new here, so bear with me.
Okay.
As we see what is going on here.
Hi.
Hello, Miss Tammy. Good morning. I am streaming this on YouTube as well as on. Hello, Miss Anita. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, we got a delay. Hang on a second here. Let's see here if I can do this. If not, oh. Hello, Miss Tammy. Good morning.
Oh, there is a delay.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm on YouTube now or not, and if I'm not, that's quite all right. We'll just let me see.
I'm gonna look.
Okay, that's what I was going to do too.
I got the notice for it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep, it says that we're live, so let's just see. As long as it's live and we're not playing it, I think I'm good. Yeah, no, I think we're okay.
Oh yeah, there we are.
Okay, awesome. I have the volume off, but I can see the chat. Okay, all this technical stuff. Anita, I normally do this just directly on YouTube, but the benefit is with doing Zoom, we get to see each other face to face. And Tammy and I have been enjoying that in our Bible study, along with a couple of the other ladies. But now that we created the community, we thought this would be such a fun way to be able to share what I do on Thursday mornings. And welcome. Tammy, this is Anita. Anita, this is Tammy.
Hi, Anita.
Hi, Tammy.
This is so much fun. I know there'll be others. There are some joining in on the YouTube feed. So if you're on YouTube, leave some comments, share where you're joining us from. I can't see you, but I can see your chat. So actually, Tammy, you want to test that for me and send a chat message on YouTube?
Sure, just a second.
Okay, thank you.
And my house is about to get noisy.
That's okay.
Grandsons are arriving.
This is the other beautiful thing. Now I get to see the real life around the rest of you guys, not just my house exploding all the time.
Let's see. Oh my. I gotta figure out how to do this on my computer.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's the comments? Not there.
Let me see. I think I just sent morning, everyone. I don't know if it came across.
Oh, here's the chat. Okay. I'm not used to doing it on my computer.
That's okay. I know I'm used to doing everything on my phone, and with Zoom, I have to do it on the computer as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Pop out chat. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, Carol's in the house. Good morning, Sugar.
There it is. Okay. Yep. It works.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so this is going to be interesting. This is trial and error today, so you guys get to enjoy my chaos, so thank you. Okay, so how are you guys doing today? All of you, those on YouTube and here on Zoom. I don't know if we'll have others joining. Ah, there is. Robin is trying to join, and I'm so rudely leaving her in the waiting room. That's, you're going to have to remind me to check that because I don't. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
Welcome. So this is going to be an interesting morning, but the one thing, Carol says, how do I go live? I'm going to send you something in your Facebook message, Carol, and you can access it because you're part of the community. Ooh, it won't let me. It's updating my messaging. Hang on one second. So we'll get into the dirt of things here in a few minutes. If you could just bear with me with the technical things for just a second, that would be really awesome because this is brand new for us today and we're going to have to work through this. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So get in here quick. But in the meantime, how are you guys doing? And what kind of plans do you have for your new year? So feel free to, Anita, what do you have going on? Do you have any good plans for the new year?
Well, My husband's still recovering from pneumonia with COVID.
Oh, wow.
So, and he's not ready to go out in public yet. I think he's a little fearful.
Yeah.
So we might actually take a trip to Florida in a couple weeks if he gets with it.
Right.
And our schools are supposed to start up again at the end of March, and he drives a van and I drive whatever they need me to drive, a bus or a van. But I drive as a sub, so we
Okay.
might have some work at the end of March.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be praying. We'll be praying.
If we go away, we
Say
thank you.
again. What was the last thing you
If
said?
we go away, we have to be back by the end of March. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Understood. Yeah, that I totally understand and can relate to him being fearful on going out in the public, just with the things I dealt with over the last 5 years with my healing. It's scary when you're affected by the outside world in a negative way. So I kind of live in my own little bubble here. So I get that. But we'll be praying for, what is your husband's name, Anita?
Steve.
Steve. Okay. So we'll be praying for Steve. Carol, I sent you a link in your Facebook Messenger if you'd like to join on the live too. It's going to get really real when Carol joins us on the live. Carol is from the UK, and she's a lot of fun. Good morning, Miss Deb. Good morning, Miss Deb. We got Jane in the house. Also, awesome. Good morning. So Tammy, she says, howdy, Tammy, all. I'm at work and just listening while I can. Okay, awesome. Well, we're glad to have you, praying for you this week. And Jane, how are you feeling? Are you feeling better? I hope. So Carol, oh, Robin's joining back in. Okay, so you guys are, this is Tammy. Can you just see the test that's going to be for me with my brain this morning?
Haircut.
Oh, it's already testing
Yeah.
mine.
Good morning, Mr. Robin again.
Good
So
morning.
I want to share something that Tammy shared this week on our community page. For those of you that may not have joined our community, I highly encourage you join our community. Things are so amazingly awesome there. I am seeing God just so at work, and I'm so excited. You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/community and join. It's free. Think Facebook without all the garbage, and the freedom to share what you'd like and be surrounded by people that are going to love on you. So it's awesome. But Tammy shared something this week that really touched me. And she shared Psalms 133:1. And Psalms 133:1 is how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. And she shared that she felt that was the Trayer Wilderness community. And I'm like giving God all the praise. That's so awesome. But that really touched my heart because we've been really praying for God to show us the way. We've been praying for wisdom and knowledge and direction. And we've been asking God to strongly use us in whatever way he feels fit and to nudge us in the right direction. So as those prayers have been being lifted, God has been tremendously guiding us. The Kids Corner came about, and I had no real idea what God was going to do with that or how God was going to use me, but he is using me. And the Kids Corner is also free. So for those of you joining that have grandchildren, children, we are doing a book reading every Friday, and you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Kids Corner and sign up. Jane says, I get Steve's fear. I'm taking baby steps too. Jane had COVID, so she's sharing that she's totally on board with Steve there. And slowly they are saying, I'm a long hauler, ongoing issues. Oh, that's tough. I get that. I actually caved yesterday and went to the doctors. And when I got there, the doctor said, there must be really something wrong with you, because she knows I don't go. I was doing herbs for 2 weeks and wasn't getting any relief. And I had to go to get some antibiotics. So I was not very happy with that. But as you always hear me say, as much as I do not like the medical system, there is a time and a place for it. So I had a cave yesterday myself. But it is scary when you have things that are affected by the outside world. Like when I go out and about, and thankfully today I'm feeling pretty good. But last time I was out, it was very clear the next day when I went live that I was out. I was just drained. It drains me greatly when I go out because the electromagnetic frequencies bother me, all the toxins bother me, so it just drains my system. But I got home fairly early yesterday and just kind of crashed and did my thing. And I want to share something else I did, and this might be helpful for some of you. And this is just one of them. I got 5 plants. This is Vera. Glenn was making fun of me because I'm naming my plants. So this is Vera, and Fern, which is a Boston fern, is on top of my fridge. And I got 3 others that I need to name, but they're all plants that pull toxins and garbage out of the air. They are known for their abilities to do that. The Boston fern actually pulls formaldehyde out of the air because plywood has formaldehyde in it. So since we moved into our little cabin, even though we milled all the lumber, there's still toxins in here. There's still the insulation, the plywood, varying different things, the odors from the stains and different things that had to be used, and the glues and the silicones. And these plants, each one I got, pulls those things out of the air. Like I said, the fern is really well known for pulling the formaldehyde out, but the other plants I got are actually known to pull the toxins from glues and stains, things like that, out of the air. And what they do is they replenish it with oxygen. So in our 360 square feet, I thought 6 plants are going to give me lots of really good air in my bubble. So, but that was something that I did this week in an effort to help me as well. So Jane, I don't know if that'll help, but just giving you fresh air and something green growing is always helpful to me. Jane said stress, I bought a coffee plant. That's funny. I understand that too, only I can't have caffeine right now. So, but God is good. God is present in every aspect of our lives. And, you know, with Jane and Steve and with myself, sometimes God puts us through things so that we have, sometimes so that we slow down, sometimes so that he can teach us things. Sometimes we just get sick because, but through my illness, it was a really amazing time for me to grow super close to God. I already had a relationship with him, but there was a lot of growth during that time for me because I was flat on my back for a year. I quickly realized that I had to rest in that place, that God had me right where he wanted me. And when I relinquished myself to God and rested in that place, I found amazing, amazing closeness to him. And I share that because during these uncertain times we are walking out right now, we can choose to walk through them in fear. We can choose to walk through them in anger. There's a lot of different emotions I'm sure we're all going through. And as the weeks move on, there's new things happening. And you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do want to give you guys just really strong encouragement to keep going about your life, to keep living your life, to keep making plans. Plans are important. Whoa, Copper, lay down. My big dog's trying to go under the table and she's already like 4 inches taller than it. So imagine that if she had gone under my table, she'd go running through the small house with it on her back. Lay down, lay down. Thank you. All right. It's not the kids, it's the animals, right? But when we have a plan, it helps us to focus better. I think you'll all agree with that. And right now, I feel that we need to have really good plans in place and really focus, and also realize that through this time, God can use this time to provide great growth for all of us that are seeking him. And something that I read in our Bible study book, actually, that really, really resonated with me is these sentiments. It says, yet in a mysterious way, God in his sovereign goodness often uses the painful and at times debilitating injuries to make us readier for his service. It's said in the Bible a lot too, that in our weakness, he is strong. And we need to realize that there's always, I truly believe this, there is always purpose in everything that we experience. And through those times when you start changing your perspective on that and you realize that there's purpose in everything, I look for the purpose. I look for the opportunities. I look for the blessings rather than looking at the heartaches, the injuries, the debilitating things that we might be walking through. And I'll tell you what, I've been told all throughout my life that I wear pink shady glasses. And I'll tell you what, I'd be happy to share them with you because it's a really pleasant way to live. It's really an awesome way to live when you are seeing the positive in things instead of the negative in things. And so often, look out, Carol is in the Zoom house. I admitted her. There she is. Good morning, sister. Her audio is still coming on. All right. Now we're all in trouble. Carol is in the house.
Carol.
All right. Robin shared in the chat. All right. Carol's in. Carol's audio, I think, is on. And let me see what Robin shared. Robin, okay, we got the chat over here. There we go. All right. So Robin shared, you may like the book Live Not by Lies by Rod Derer. Church is reading it. Awesome. I will check it out. I always love good book recommendations. So thank you very much. All right. So we will see. Carol, can you hear us? I got to see her pretty face, but I don't know if she can hear us. Let me see. There she is. Can you hear us? I don't think her mic is on. Oh, her audio is connecting to audio. So she's still connecting. All right. We'll see if she gets connected. It's so awesome to see everybody's face. You know, I've been talking with Anita for years and Robin for years, and it's so awesome to be able to put faces with
Yes.
names. Can you hear us? Say something, Carol. Say something in your beautiful accent. So Robin, share a little bit about yourself while we are waiting for Carol to connect, because I love what you're doing in your space as far as growing things and still, you know, although your space is small, it's proven you can still do stuff. So share a little bit about what you have going on there.
Okay, I've just added the aloe vera, a couple more plants of aloe vera.
Okay.
I've got sprouts going. I'm beginning to look at what I'm going to put into a 4x8 garden.
Okay.
And there's only 2 of us that will be in the complex using it this year. One's moving. And they moved the garden the middle of the last year. Somebody bought the land up against our property. So they literally, the new property owners made us tear it out, and all the plants, a kudo for container plants. I had used concrete blocks turned sideways so the plants could go down.
Yep.
So the maintenance man looked at me and went, so if I dig up your concrete blocks, we can move your plants since they're in planters, can't we? One big, I forget what variety of lettuce or kale. It's still been going all winter. We just had our first snow.
Oh, that's
So I've
fabulous.
had fresh greens in an apartment. Fresh greens all winter. That's my mini victory.
Awesome. That's a good phrase.
The bird is a little parakeet. I'm waiting for another puppy for a service dog
Oh, that's right.
died,
That's right.
right before Christmas, and I needed something alive in here with me. It just,
get
after a
it.
week and a half, was like, no, need something alive. So
Yep.
a parakeet is alive. They sing at dawn and dusk, just like all my songbirds that I spot and watch. I
Right.
didn't know a bird inside would sing at dawn and dusk.
Yeah.
And if I'm talking, it starts chirping and singing. So if I'm talking, you may hear it.
I did. Well, and it's funny. We had a lovebird years and years ago. I had gotten that for the kids, and we actually taught it to whistle, and it would sit and play cards with us. They're fun. They can be very personable, and they do sing like that. So that's good. I'm glad you got something to give you company as well. And that's an awesome praise with your garden. So in a 4x4 space, you guys are able to grow things there, and you started it, correct?
Correct. I sort of begged and told them, listen, y'all, you've just locked us out of the little gym, the little library, the little social. We've literally got extremely tiny 1-bedroom apartments because you're supposed to go out and be social.
Right.
And then they locked them, and then they put duct tape on the doors because they were afraid somebody would, what do you call it? Pick
Break
the
in.
locks.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
I
goodness.
just went, you got to give us some ground then, because we need to be able to do something. And they agreed, which surprised me because they didn't have to. It means if you're stuck in an apartment, ask. They can only turn you down. And when I kept asking with a smile saying, you really want seniors to deal with more loneliness and more depression and not be outside in the sun? And
Good for you. Good
I
for
kept pushing all the
positive
intangible benefits.
Yeah. And you know what? You get more with kindness than you do the other way. When my son was little and I'd go into these meetings, like learning support and special education, and other parents would join, I always got what I wanted. And I watched these parents out of just pure frustration and anger, standing on chairs, just screaming at these poor teachers who were there to help their kids anyway. And they never got what they needed. And the thing is too, ask, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, no matter what it is, because if you don't ask, you won't know. And I present it that way all the time to people, because like, for example, the one store in town has pallets sitting out, wooden sitting by the dumpster. And I asked him, I said, are those for sale, or what do you do with those? Oh, they're free. If they're sitting out there, take them. Had I not asked, I would have never known. All the other places in town charge you $3 a piece. We gotta ask. When I bought my first house, it was loaded with antiques, all kinds of antiques. I love antiques. I was drooling over in every room. And it was a minister and his wife that had lived there, and they had passed, and the son was cleaning things up. And I asked him for a potato chip can for my mother. And that's the only thing I asked for. And at settlement, I said to the man, I said, that house was just filled with the most amazing antiques. He goes, you've got to be kidding me. And he said it in disgust. He said, if I would have known that's how you felt, I would have left everything in that house. So from that day forward, I learned the importance of asking.
My sofa,
the old antique desks with the pulled down desk
the secretaries.
Oh yeah.
That's my furniture. I lost everything to black mold 3 years ago and got moved here. My sofa's from the 1850s. The desks are from the 1850s. The chairs are from the 1850s. I'm in a modern glider. There's a few modern pieces, but they're sized for shorter people too, I found out.
And they're made sturdy. I mean, there's not one antique I have that doesn't
That's it.
that's ancient and holds up still to the test of time and to supposed to do. So it's pretty amazing. But the importance of asking is there. And it sometimes that asking can even be when you see somebody that looks like they're having a poor day, to just ask if they're okay. You know, we have the ability to ask for our benefit, but we also have the ability to ask to bless somebody. And we so often are afraid. It's our fears that hold us back from everything. And with what Robin shared today with her garden space, that's why I wanted you to share, because you've talked about that in our live streams before and in the chats and that. And she grows things on her windowsill. So when you guys say you don't have space and you can't grow anything, I don't believe you, because Robin's proven you wrong. Robin has, that's the beautiful thing. We all have windowsills in our house. And, you know, if it came down to it and we had to live a caveman kind of life, that the only thing that was available was meat out in the woods, we could still grow our greens by getting heirloom seeds that you can regrow and regrow and regrow. You can grow things in your windowsill. So growing enough lettuce to eat every week, which would give you your vitamin C, your greens, that you wouldn't end up getting becoming a sick caveman. So I say all that because I really feel it's important, and I want to nudge you guys today to grow things, even if it is on your windowsills, because, you know, when we're in uncertain times, it means that we need to take charge. We need to plan. We need to be willing to do things and try things and be prepared what could come. If our produce was no longer available, and granted, many of you, I know Anita in Pennsylvania has got to have flea markets and that very close by, and I'm living vicariously through your opportunities, because we used to be in Pennsylvania too, and every Friday night we would go to the auction and get a box. I'm telling you, a big box, like a Rubbermaid tote size box, full of fresh produce for $35.
Whoa.
And not get better produce.
Hey, Tammy.
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Jane was asking for the meeting number, and Carol says she can't get back in.
Okay. Oh, that's
Sorry.
because I'm being rude. Thank you. Nope, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I need your eyes today. Carol, you're coming back in, and hopefully your mic will work. Jane, let me send you, I don't know if I can send you the link. Can I message you? Put user in timeout. You weren't naughty. I won't put you in timeout, but I was trying to private message you and I can't. I don't want to announce the link on YouTube, because this is specifically for the community. So Jane, I don't remember, did you sign up under the community? You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/community and you can sign in for free. And the first thing that you should see on there today is the link for this call. Because this is something that we are offering to our community members. Good morning, Toy. Toy says she has to run, have an appointment, going to change the time in the future. Girl, we are praying for you. Are you still having your surgery tomorrow? Friday, and what time? Ah, good deal, girl. Okay, thank you. Jane just messaged me, so give me a second here.
Carol,
Tammy,
can you hear us yet?
Thank you, Tammy. Let me see. Last time it said for connection. Can you say something, Carol? Oh, so you can't hear me either. Is your this happened to me the other day. Is your volume up? Check the volume on your computer. Do you know how to check the volume? I did that too. That might have been the blonde, but I did that too. Can you hear me now? Can you hear us? Maybe you and I'll have to Zoom privately later so we can figure it out. Let me send Jane.
You got it.
Can you hear me?
Told you, look out, she was
Yes.
coming in the house.
Yes! I had to ring a friend. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I interrupted anything. I had to ring a friend. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Carol is officially in the house.
I've been in the house for ages. I just couldn't hear or see anybody.
Oh, my.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I was trying to do Carol's accent the other day and she was making fun of me. Now I'm
Hilarious.
hearing her how off I was. I'm gonna have to practice.
Hilarious.
Whoa. Now the dog. All right, give me 1 second here while I message Jane. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this first attempt at this, it's good, but I'm gonna have to work out some of the bugs and figure all this stuff out. But thank you guys for riding along on this one with me.
No, you just
All
have to
right.
wait for the idiots that didn't know what they were doing.
No. So tell me, Carol, do you and Anita, do you guys grow anything? Do you guys have gardens personally?
My daughter has a garden. She lives
Concrete.
3 houses down the road.
Patio slabs.
Say again, Carol.
I grow weeds good.
We all do that very well. And Anita, you said your daughter has a garden down the road that you guys share.
Yes, I do I teach her how to can and do the prep work, and she does the hard job, like the weeds and everything else.
Okay. Now that's funny because I always greatly enjoyed doing the weeding. I know that sounds weird, but I've shared it before that I love to exercise. And to me, that is a really good exercise. And it's just therapeutic for me. So my son, however, on the other hand, did not like the job. So I guess it was okay that I did. He would do other things and I would do the weeding. Now, I know Tammy has a big garden and she also grows a lot of medicinals also because she shares those with me. I've been very blessed by her garden multiple times already, and Deb's. But what kind of advice might you have, Tammy, for those that have never stepped into gardening or growing anything, even on their windowsill? What would your suggestions be?
Just do it. I'm kind of the gardener that just throws the stuff in the ground and says, if it's going to grow, it's going to grow. And I'll try it for a couple, seasons. And then I will give up at some point because it's not worth the money for it. But I do start things inside, but I don't put a lot of effort into it, watering it, having it have sunlight. But if you never try, you're never going to know if you can do it. And stuff is made to grow. Seeds are made to grow. That's how the Lord made them. So if you put them in the ground, they're going to do something.
Yep. We got Jane in the house here. And Miss Deb says, howdy, Carol. So nice to hear your voice. You sound like my friend who is also from England, but living in Canada and Idaho.
Hi.
And Miss Jane.
That's how the Lord made them. So if you put them in the ground, they're going to do something.
Oh, somebody's. Is that you, Tammy?
No, mine's down.
Yeah,
But I
delayed
do
on
think of
YouTube.
something that I just learned is if you use the seed starting soil for seeds, you have to transplant those because that's not made to continue growing them.
Ah,
It's only made to
Oh.
start them. Then you've got to put them into potting soil so that they can continue to grow. I
Oh.
just learned that this year.
okay. Awesome share. Awesome share. And the other thing that I want to share is our friend, the boss, JC from Boss of the Swamp. He actually just put a video out in his greenhouse and shared how he starts all his seeds. He said he will never start his seeds ever again in the ground because it's too much guesswork. He said what he does is he starts them in trays that he actually floats in other trays. So that's how they get their water. So he doesn't have to water them. And that way he knows that if a seed didn't take off, that he's not worried about pulling a weed or the seed, the sprout in his garden, that he knows for sure that once he's planted it, it's a solid plant and that it has indeed taken off in the tray. And I thought, you know, that's pretty awesome way to do it and take all the guesswork out of it. Plus he said it really helps because when he can do it in the greenhouse, he doesn't have to worry about chipmunks and birds getting his seeds, that they'll already have a good start. And when he puts them in the garden, they'll be a lot hardier. So I thought that was a really good way to start things as well. And we had started our seeds previously for our other garden in the house. This year, though, I'm so excited because we will be starting our greenhouse when the weather gets a little drier. We've had a very mild winter and we could have maybe done things, but it keeps going back and forth and we've just had so much moisture. We have mud up to our eyeballs when it's not cold. So spring, when it dries out, that's what we're planning to do. And then that's what we will do is start all of our seeds indoors and just hopefully being able to grow things all year long, which will be so amazing. Our friend JC refers to his greenhouse as his therapy. And I totally get that. For one, you know, it's like negative temps up on his mountain, and in his greenhouse, it's in the 70s. And then just to be able to go in there and see things growing. I love green. I love being able to see things growing. As a matter of fact, right before I got on, I got real excited. I have like a succulent type plant that was in the container, and I had moved it into the tent, hoping that it would be warm enough that it would survive while we were building. And it just, I brought it in here and it looked pretty disheveled and it looked like it wasn't going to make it. And I stuck it up on top of the fridge in the container Jane suggested. And I watered it again the other day, and all of a sudden a brand new shoot came out of it. So, and I just noticed that today, that it just pretty much came out the last 2 days. So I'm like so excited. So, you know, that's what it's like when you're growing seeds for your garden. When you plant something and all of a sudden the shoots start coming up, it's just so exciting to see that growth. And it's like the birth of a baby, kind of, but sort of.
Hey, Shelly came back and Kelly's with us now.
Oh, cool. Oh, good deal. Kelly and Shelly are in the house. Thank you. Guys, I'm having a hard time keeping track of it all. Oh,
me too.
morning, no makeup, hair not combed. That's okay. I've got like wilderness hair going on here. So, and there's lots of
dyed mine for like 6 months. I look like the wild woman from Borneo at the minute, or Borneo, or wherever the other is.
Oh, you're so funny. Hey, you know what? We're all beautiful, whether we have makeup on or not. So, I believe it. You're smiling on here and made my day. So Jane, let your camera shine. You're all right. You'd fit in with all the rest of us. We're all beautiful.
How do I turn it on?
Oh, okay, cool. I can hear. Let me see. I'll ask you to start your video. There you go. All right. So Miss Kelly is in the house, and there we go. There's a face with a name. Good morning, Miss Jane. All right. This is so cool. See, I'm always sitting with my face. I'm talking to a little camera dot all the time, and I see all your comments, but this is like so awesome. I love it. I'm not alone.
What's she worried about?
What's that?
I said, I wish I looked like that when I got up in the morning. Give me a break. Oh. This is all day. It's 7:15 at night here. This is all day.
Carol,
and you look like you just fell out of a salon.
My hair's all sticking up.
Ah, that's all right. I don't think it's good. It was Carol. Oh, so funny. Okay, so Shelly says, I have yet to see her other than in pictures eating like her daddy. Oh, she's talking about her granddaughter. Okay. I'm on YouTube, not Zoom. Okay. All right. I'm getting this now. And Shelley says Millie Copper's new book is out today, and that it is. Millie Copper is a dear friend of mine, and you need to go check out her books. If you are new to preparedness, Millie's books are a great start. Millie writes cozy apocalyptic books. Let me rephrase that. Faith-based cozy apocalyptic books. And they are fabulous. Even for those of us that prepare, I am just like cheering her on, because for those that don't prepare, it triggers so much thinking and so many things that you should be considering that maybe you're not. And if you just like a good read, Millie's books are fabulous. They are well written, and she's got 2 different series going on, and she had a Christmas novella also. But you can find her books by going to trayerwilderness.com/Millie, MILLIE, Copper, COPPER. But I highly recommend her books. And yes, her book is on Amazon today, and very worth the investment. Very, very worth the investment. I will warn you though, her books are the kind that are the addicting kind that when you start reading, you can't put them down. So if that is the case for you, you might want to be careful when you start them, because they get really addicting. And then you get really disappointed when you hit the end because the next one's not available yet. But for you guys that may not have started, there's quite a few in the series, so you're good to go. But how many of you guys have plans for the year? What kind of plans do you have? I know that we've been talking about gardening, so I know like Tammy has plans for the garden. And Robin is going to be gardening. We are going to be getting our greenhouse going. We have a lot of things planned for the year. But that's the importance of planning. Have yourself a nice to-do list. Break your plans out. Have goals. Coordinate your plans with your financial aspect of things. I always say that because you don't want to go into debt doing the things you want to accomplish. But if you take baby steps along the way and plan financially and plan as you go and do what you can, which is how we built this house, how we intend to do everything moving forward. We will do what we can as we can afford to do it. And that way you don't have financial burdens looming over you while you're trying to accomplish your goals. But if you put them on paper, they're more likely to happen. I know that sounds funny, but it's a proven fact that when you write your plans down, you are able to focus more on them. They are in the forefront, they are out of your head and now on paper. So it makes them more concrete. And break out your plans. Whatever goal you have first that you want to accomplish for the year, have baby steps so that you can not be overwhelmed. Because what most people do when they want to accomplish something is they have this goal and they have 20 things they want to accomplish along with it, and it's not realistic. And then they get into it and it becomes overwhelming and they quit. So by being able to have things broken out and having baby steps in place, it's no different than your to-do list should be every day, that you have it broken out into baby steps, and be encouraged also by what you are able to check off. Rather than being discouraged by what's left on the list, be encouraged by what you've already accomplished. Look at it in that direction, because so often people look at what's looming ahead. We're not supposed to know what's looming ahead. We're supposed to be focusing on the now. And when you learn to start doing that, life in itself becomes a lot less overwhelming. And having plans and having goals is important. And when we learn to do things in baby steps, it's like creating a new habit, that you start learning to look at things that way. You look at what you've accomplished and your progress. That adds a positive boost to what you're trying to accomplish and makes it so much better. Jane, did you want to say anything? Oh, I see what it was. It was never mind. That's really funny. My mouse is a hand, and it was showing up on yours, and I'm not 100% versed in Zoom yet. And the one other Zoom that I follow, he's like, use your electronic hand. So I saw a hand pop up on your thing and I thought it was the electronic hand. So forgive me, it's my mouse. He's at the wheel. So let me see here what's going on over in the chat. Shelly says, I read them one after the other. Waiting is the worst for her next book. I know, right? It's totally true, Shelly. But they are worth the wait. She's talking about Millie's books. They are so worth the wait. And then Kelly says, plans to finish our barn, build another greenhouse, one we can use year round here in Montana, heat it with wood and raise as much food and preserve it as we can. And awesome, very awesome. One of the things that we are doing, Kelly, in our greenhouse is we're going to do a mass rocket stove to heat it because it requires less wood and it will keep it heated longer. And that way we can also heat our water inside there for different purposes. So I don't know if that's something you considered, but with Mike and Glenn being the MacGyver types, I just wanted to mention that. And maybe that's what you're thinking already. But we were thinking to do that and put the mass portion either in the center underneath some of our grow tables so that the heat is rising and adding additional heat to the plants that we're trying to get to root and such.
Hi.
I hear Bridger. Hi. How are you, Bridger?
Hi.
Hi. How are you today?
It go fun. It go fun.
Are you going to the farm? Good deal. Are you going to join me and read with me tomorrow?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I see Tristan too. Hi, Tristan.
I can't see if he's on there.
Yeah, he's on. Hi, Tristan. So cute. Was he on earlier? I thought he was on your lap and I missed him when I was trying to do all my stuff here.
He was saying hi.
Okay. So tell him I'm sorry. He probably forgot already, but I'm glad he popped on. Up here, Kelly says, yes, looking into doing similar. I kind of figured you would be. All right, awesome. Shelly says, I used some of my dehydrated potatoes in stew yesterday. They were nice and did not get soft like fresh stew if you cook them too much. Exactly. Yeah, they're really nice. That's awesome. How many potatoes did you end up dehydrating this year, Shelly? Deb says, howdy, sweet Bridger. And Kelly says, almost would like to build an outdoor mud oven in my summer kitchen spot. I know, right? That's what we were actually starting down at the old homestead when all the COVID stuff started. And then we ended up selling our house. So we switched off on that. So that'll be something that will be coming at our place too, to be able to make pizzas and bread and be able to bake outside. Just because it eliminates the heat. And with us only having 360 square feet here, you heat this up in the summer and it'll never cool back off. It says, sweet boys, Tammy Richards. They are cute. So wish I could be on here with everyone on Zoom. I knew what you meant and you'll get your chance. You'll get your chance. This is really fun though. What do you guys think? Do you like doing this? I think this is awesome. I agree. Yes. This is awesome. It's so nice to be able to see everybody's faces. And I didn't know that I could feed it directly to YouTube. That was an accidental find the other day when I was reading over everything and checking and getting everything set up for today. So that's pretty cool too. So Jane, do you have any plans for the year?
It's hard. I hate, but I have MS. So
Right.
every day is a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I garden, I have a small gardening area. If I overdo it, then I pay for it.
Yeah.
So I've had it for 18 years, not a newbie. I'm in my 60s, so I've done very well with it.
Okay.
No, we're just kind of winding down here. I'm retired.
Okay.
And my husband will be retiring within the next 12 months. And then we're selling everything and we're moving to Ecuador.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
So tell us
Why?
what is your
Why? Because we can. We've always said that we were going to move somewhere abroad at retirement. We've worked hard. But anyway, I can't do cold. I cannot do heat. And you would think Ecuador, equator, hot. It's not. The central part of Ecuador is spring-like, 60 to 70 degrees every day with the freshest fruits and vegetables. And I'll be living more, you know, I'm not much of a prepper here. I sew, I've always created on my own. I quilt, you know, and that kind of stuff. But there I'll be living that life way more because we're not going to live in an expat community. That's not why we're going there.
right?
And our plan, if God allows, you know, he's kind of showing us he didn't want us to go. Last year we were going to go for a month exploratory trip right when COVID. So we'd probably still be stuck there, which I don't care, but my husband hasn't worked yet.
Right.
So yeah, that's our plan. And so I'm kind of getting rid of and kind of going through things now in preparation because it's going to sneak up on us really fast. I can't believe we're a year into this COVID stuff. And I'm thinking, you know, 2 more years, hon, we have a lot to do to get this ready. We have lots of things we need to sell and get rid of. So
We're
that's
on
kind of
lockdown
where
in the
I am.
UK.
I'm in my, this is going to be exciting adventure. So yeah, we looked at a property.
We're on lockdown in the UK for the 3rd time.
You're in
This
lockdown
is
for the 3rd time, Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like
And,
not in their homes.
I think they're saying they'll review it on the 22nd of February. They're not talking about opening schools again till end of March, I think, ish. But they're not sure yet. But yeah, this is our 3rd lockdown. So I've spent most of the year inside because I'm COPD and twice breast cancer survivor. So I have to stay in.
Yeah, it's hard. They're calling me a long hauler and all this because I can't kick a lot of these. I have sinus infections and they show up in black eyes and they say it's all part of that. So I've been kind of scared to really go out.
Oh, wow. I am going to email you when we're done. I do have, since you said that it's more sinus, when I was right after my surgery, all of the toxins had housed in my sinus cavity. So that was part of why I had such facial pain and head pain for so long. And I had to work through and figure things out. And I found several things that gave me such relief and actually healed them up really fast. So I will message you later so that you can maybe try them. They're natural. Because that was the thing. I as toxic as my body was, I was afraid to use any medications because of how they may react to my system. And I get what you guys are saying, you know, being cooped up is hard. So I totally get why Carol, as soon as the bell dings, Carol was on and Carol was like, I miss you guys. I get it, because when you're cooped up like that, that's terribly hard. And Anita had made mention too, she's a people person and COVID made it hard for her too. So that's why I love these live videos. 3 years ago when I started this, I despised live videos. I was scared to death because I was so used to being able to edit out my mistakes. Now you see the real live me and I'm happy to be me. You hit a point where you see what God is doing and the blessings that are coming from it, and that stuff just all goes away. So to see what's transpiring here and how we are able to nurture one another and help one another and relate to one another too. So Jane, that is like super cool. You best Zoom with us when you're in Ecuador.
Oh, I will.
Okay. But that's so awesome to be able, I get what you're saying with overdoing it, because I had a lot of autoimmune diseases and struggles with phantom autoimmunes because of all the toxins. My body was confused. And so if I would overdo it, I would be flat on my back for 4 or 5 days. So I had Lyme that I conquered, And that too, same thing. You have the flare-ups and all that, and it's just punishing. So I totally get what you mean. For the last 5 years, my days have been a surprise to me too. I never knew what I was gonna have happen. And Glenn would, Glenn would be like, I don't know, he touched my back or something where I was tender or sore, and I'd be like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't know you were hurting. You act like you're okay. I'm like, I'm gonna act like I'm okay because I am not giving it authority over my body. I am ignoring it. I am being positive despite not feeling like I want to move. But it's, it's tough. It's tough when you have those like MS, lupus. A lot of the autoimmune diseases are the same thing. They're triggered by outside things, toxins, and environment. So it makes it really hard. And being there's other COVID people on here, I will make a list for next week of what I'm going to share with Jane, because off the top of my head with everything going on, I can't recall them all by name, but I will provide links to all of them because they are really useful and they really help get rid of sinus, whether it's from COVID or anything else. It was just a saving grace. It's also, if you have struggles with mold, the sinus spray that I'm going to share was one that helped me with the mold toxicity that I was dealing with also. So I will be sure to share those next week. Kelly says she will try next time if we do it again. She's working on her laundry, so moving around today. All right, awesome. Well, we would love to have you join on the Zoom. Every week, for those of you that are part of the community, I'll send out a reminder email in the evening with the link to join the Zoom. And in the morning in the community chat, I will share the links there also. And at the bottom of our resource page in the community resources is a link to the meeting. And there is one in the sidebar also. If you're using the app, the sidebar doesn't show up. So that's why I added it as a resource down below on the resource page also. So it's accessible.
What time is it there?
When is it there?
No, what time is it there?
Oh, what time is it here now? It is 11:33.
Okay, so here it's 7:30, just gone 7:30 at night. So
Okay,
I'm
right.
8 hours ahead of you? Right, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And we will have somebody joining us from Kenya upcoming also. My dear friend, David. I met David on Upworks, and he was actually helping us doing transcription work, and he was doing some blog posts for me and different things back before I got sick. And then after I got sick, I just couldn't afford to keep him on. But he is such a dear man of faith, and he and his family, we communicated yesterday, and I shared the links with them because we've been out of touch for a couple months. And his kids will be joining the live, the Kids Corner tomorrow. And he'll probably start joining our Zooms or our YouTube also. But he is an awesome guy. So it's just so awesome to see that we have people all over the country. We have had some joining. I think it was Mike from Germany, and there was somebody from the Netherlands that had joined us. And we have people all over the United States. So it's just awesome. So oh, you are just a booger. Quit it. You're gonna knock Vern over. Aloe vera. It's Vera, not Vern. I got Fern and the dog just pushing. They're pushing here today. I can't show you what I got going on here, but my table is in front of the sofa and the chair, and the stairs are right there. And then they're trying to make their circular loop around the stairs and can't. So I'm in the way and trying to move me out of the way.
The foot muffs.
Yes, that was so funny when you said that. Yes. So I'm going to read a couple things to you guys today because I thought that this would be something that would resonate with you guys maybe. And I wanted to get you guys looking at things a little differently because it's really easy when we're cooped up, when we're not able to do the things we normally do, when we're by ourselves, the enemy settles in and he wants us to start doubting things. He wants us to start to be fearful and worried. He wants us to feel alone. And I want us to remember to focus upward and not let the enemy, seep in. And I gave you guys all the challenge, and I hope you're taking it to spend at least 1 to 5 minutes with God, praying and in the Word, so that you can create that new habit for this year. How are you doing, Carol, with your journal?
I've only just started. Give us a chance.
That's okay. But that's good. You started. That's a
I've got 2
praise.
pages.
Yes, see? That's huge praise. That's huge praise.
Never written a journal in my life, and I'm 53. I'll be 54 this year. I've never written a journal in my life.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I also suggested that you start a gratitude journal. Mine is my prayer, my gratitude, and my happenings journal. And I write in it every day. It sits on top of my Bible. It is the first thing I grab every morning. And I found great value in that. It took me, Carol, till I was 46 to start faithfully journaling. And I told you, when I moved and packed everything, I found like 20 some journals that had 2 pages written in them. That's a crime. And why my mind thought I couldn't start again the next year in the same book, but I had to get another one. But anyway, having a journal is important because it enables us to look back on our growth. It enables us to concrete our prayer time with God. It also concretes our gratitude. Those things stick once they're written. And the more we do it, the more our minds focus on the good instead of the bad. And that's what we need to learn to do, because that way, regardless what's going on in our lives, we learn to focus on Him. And it also starts to remove the fear and worry because you're focusing on the blessings despite the chaos. So keep doing that, Carol. You're started, and that's awesome. You got it. You got it. All right. So Job 23:10. When He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Job lost his family and his fortune in a single day. Yet looking back, he wrote, when He has tested me, I will come forth as gold. It takes much more heat to produce gold than it does to produce tin. So which of the two do you want to be? To enjoy the blessing God has in mind for you, you've got to pass life's tests. In early days of television programming, schedules were routinely interrupted by a 30-second test of the emergency broadcast system. Yep, I remember those. And those tests are a lot like the ones that come into our lives, unscheduled, unwelcomed, and they always seem to come at the worst possible time, right? But unlike television test patterns, life's tests don't last for 30 seconds and then go away. No, they can last for weeks, years, and in some cases for a lifetime. And the reason why we may never be completely clear to you. However, there's an aspect of the test you can control, how you respond to it. The truth is, tests are an invaluable, integral, and indispensable part of our spiritual growth. Without them, you'll never grow and mature as much as you need to. And it's how you handle your test that decides your testimony. Paul writes, every detail works to your advantage and God's glory. More and more grace, more and more praise. So we're not giving up. How could we? Even though on the outside it looks like things are falling apart on us, on the inside, not a day goes by without us unfolding grace, without His unfolding grace. Bottom line, you're graced for this test. And you got to remember that. You know, God walks with us through those things. We've talked about the footsteps in the sand. We've talked about the butt cheeks in the sand. And as you progress with your relationship with God and you devote 1 to 5 minutes with God every day, I guarantee you're going to hold tight to those 1 to 5 minutes and likely increase them. I shared on Tammy's comment today. Tammy's been sharing awesome shares every day from her devotionals on the community page, and they've been phenomenal. And today I shared, you know, at night we turn our internet off. In the morning, we turn it on to make sure there aren't any emergencies that are absolutely pressing with Austin or our family. And we check the weather so he knows what he can do for the most part, because they get paid to be wrong. But we still look. And then I shut the internet back off. And we come down, we eat breakfast, we do our devotions, we spend time with God. I might go for, I go for a walk every day. It just depends what time of day I go and how my day works out. But I may go for my walk and then come back and then I turn it on. I don't want all that noise. I don't want all that interruption. I want my time with him uninterrupted. I want it spent that I'm not feeling like I've got to rush like I do with everything else in life. I want it to be something good and gracious and wholesome, because to me, that is my most powerful time of my day. And that dictates my day. And a lot of the time, he directs my day, which makes it just so incredibly amazing. And to me, when I gave up trying to steer and gave him the wheel and relinquished myself to him, my days were more productive and more wholesome and less stressed. How? Through him. I mean, you can't be more productive and less stressed in our standard lifestyle. There's just no way, because there's too many annoyances. Our phones are beeping, our iPads are beeping, our computers are beeping, our kids are beeping, everything's, pressing on our time. And when we can devote those minutes in our mornings to him, to his word, and to ourselves, really, that's self-care, guys. That's really wholesome self-care. So I'm going to continue to encourage you to take those 1 to 5 minutes every day. And I would love to hear how many of you have increased your time. Let me see here. Oh, Jane asked Robin to show us what she's working on.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. I was
Finish
curious.
this stitch. See if I can get it to the camera.
Okay.
It is, it's going to be a rectangular stole. It's a lace stitch that doesn't have a front or a back to it.
Nice.
Beautiful.
It's a bamboo based, very lightweight, not like a Shetland lace, but very lightweight. And we wear head coverings in an Orthodox church.
Okay.
And I realized I was getting too hot. And I finally went, okay, I'm going to go back. And I looked up my yarns, and bamboo breathes like a cotton when it's lace weight, and it's open. So it's my big thing for a treat for myself.
There you go.
Nice.
Awesome.
I've got a winter one that's turned into a really soft winter snuggie scarf, but it's too hot to wear inside anywhere.
Okay.
So this is going to be
Thank
my.
you for asking.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. Can you see?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's so pretty. You'll have to show us the finished product. This is another nice thing too, that you guys can show the things you work on. That is so awesome. I saw her with the string. Glenn's grandmother does amazing doilies, and she was teaching me, but I don't have the tension. She had a lot more fun laughing at me than she did teaching me, I think. But we got bamboo sheets because they breathe, and they're also
You like?
yes.
I've not heard anybody that tried them.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're cool at night. They're a lot cooler. It's almost like a silk sheet kind of, but they're wonderful sheets. And I didn't know that they made the bamboo threads like that. That's really awesome.
It's nice to work with, and it has a feel that's nice, and it drapes nice.
Is it silky like feeling?
The one I've got, no, because it's got a tweedy sense to it. I don't know whether you can, I think it's here. Can you tell it's tweedy? It's got a mix of, because it's got a mix, it's not really silky.
Right, so it's not 100% bamboo. It's got additional things.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, neat though. Very cool.
Yeah.
And
I have
improvise.
to be making something. And when I first found you, I was still cancer recovery, and I'd had a second recurrence, and the migraines were 24/7 all month long. And listening to you is what got me started going, I want my little indoor plants. If I can't have my garden, I need my indoor plants. I've got to have something of my old life back.
Right, right.
And
That's
that's
so
what
awesome.
helped spark me that, okay, there's got to be a way to do it. And as I've gotten healthy again, I'm not perfectly healthy, but I'm much healthier than I used to be.
Right.
And this
Well
type
done,
of stuff
honey,
makes
well
a
done.
big difference.
Well done.
Well,
That's so
thank
awesome.
you.
Yes, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. And thank you for sharing that. You brought tears to my eyes. Thank you. But that's so awesome. You know, we all have gifts and talents. God gave us each individual abilities and talents, and sometimes they're hidden, and we need other people to help nurture them out, because again, fear sets in. It's amazing, honestly, the reading I've been doing on our brains, and just some of the books I've been reading have really awed me and amazed me at how so many people live in a place of fear and never try new things and never have the abilities on their own to be creative in things. And I feel very blessed that I have that's one of my, I guess, one of my superpowers, but God-given superpowers. But what's neat is we all have talents to bring to the table. And it's so neat when we can share them together. Anita mentioned today that she would like to learn how to quilt. And I would love to find somebody to quilt and be able to bring somebody into, you quilt, Jane?
Mhm.
You quilt. Jane, Anita, Jane quilt.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Jane's gonna go get a quilt she made, I bet you.
Well, she ain't no good. She's moving to Ecuador. What's it? Ujimi flipty flopty. So how are we going to learn?
Well,
I don't even know where it is. Where is it?
Ecuador is south of, right? It's south.
Yes,
It's
Central
what?
America.
right. So it's south of the
Oh,
United
right.
States. So it's a lot further. Well, maybe not, depending what angle you're coming in at. But one of the cool things with the internet is I could film Jane teaching us how to do quilts from here while she's doing it in Ecuador. So
Yes.
we'll figure it out. Oh, look at that.
They're nothing special. I think the fabric is what makes them
look.
special. But
Oh, that's
I made that
beautiful.
for my mother, so I took it back when she passed.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
that's beautiful.
It's
Now you gotta
really
love it.
It's
Okay.
really simple. I taught myself. And I make, oh, here, there's all sorts of things we could sew if we have sewing machines.
See,
Sewing
Jane,
machine.
there we go, Anita. We're gonna learn how to quilt.
I've just gotten a sewing machine back, but I haven't started sewing again yet.
I make fiber baskets. This is out of clothesline rope.
Oh,
ladies.
that's so cool.
These are so simple, and you can make big ones and small ones and tall ones, and I just wrap fabric
Hold
around
it
the rope.
closer to the camera, can you? See if it's kind of blending in with your shirt. Can you hold it up closer to the camera? There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
look at that.
that's so
How
awesome.
cool is that?
I don't know. I like creating. I like clothesline rope. Who would have thought? That's so cheap, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
placemats and runners out of
My needle
torn-
baskets.
You, Robin, you crochet. Hang on, one more.
I love it. I love it. Anita, was it you that said you wanted to quilt, or was it a woman? It might have been Pat that said she wanted to learn how to quilt. Was it you?
These are my placemats, and they're just torn sheets that are crocheted. So they're cotton sheets that I bought at garage sales for absolutely nothing.
Yep.
That would
And-
do the rugs. I'm trying to braid a rug right now.
Yeah.
There's so
I
much
could do-
fun. There's so
I
much
could
fun.
do sheets and braid the sheets and make a cotton rug. And
Yeah.
sheets
and
are inexpensive.
Right.
I've had this. I have a table runner on my table that I made too. But and these placemats, I've had these for almost 9 years. I throw them in the wash on
Wash it.
hot, and they're perfect because they're cotton sheets.
Sheets.
You know,
Yeah, and thrift stores, you go to a thrift store and get them in like 2-inch strips, right? Is that what you did with yours, Jane? Yeah.
yes.
Because I'm going to make the rag rug with the sheets as well.
That's what I was thinking. You just solved my,
There we go.
just.
Now, Jane.
That was a wax moment.
Yeah.
So if Anita, I'll send you the pattern for this quilt. This is a easy, forgiving. This was my first or second quilt I made, and it's so simple. It's so
That's
simple.
Beautiful.
And you can just do whatever you want, and there's minimal, because quilting can be very expensive, and I don't like that part of it. So I go to Joann's or online. There's many places, and use coupons. Joann's is great for coupons, and they have to be washable, and I make my own binding to save money, and yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to create. I have about 4 tops that I need to put together, and I don't know. I keep telling my girls I'm going to each give them one, and they keep laughing because they really don't want one. But
Oh, I would be like, oh, pick me.
Can I ask something? What is a thrift store?
Thrift store is like a second-hand store where people take their
Second-hand shop, right? Yeah.
Okay. What do you call
Yeah,
it
that's
there?
what it is. Yeah, second-hand shop, charity
Okay.
shop.
secondhand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jane, I only disagree with one thing that you said. She came on and said, well, this isn't much of anything. It's the first quilt
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's beautiful. That's it.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And
My
that's what
mother
everybody else
did,
is saying. Deb says, beautiful Robin and gorgeous Jane, very cool Jane. Deb says, my mom does these into big rugs or if sheets and t-shirts, using the sheets and t-shirts, and Sterling braided dog toys out of t-shirts for 3 years and sold them, made over $1,000. There you go.
Whoa.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Robin, you can use plastic bags from
Oh, yes.
the Walmart and wherever. A lot of people are making mats. I have a girlfriend who lives back east, and she belongs to a church group where they use those, and they make mats for the homeless out of them because they can wash them off and whatever. But
Yeah.
I've seen rugs and like outdoor rugs in front of your doors, and they're actually
Okay.
they're pretty, really pretty.
Ah, that's awesome. I knew they were.
Okay.
I was leaning away from that because I try to stay away from anything not natural, but they do. I've seen really neat ones too. And
But at least we're using them instead of them going to the landfill because they do not
Break down.
break down. Yeah.
No.
So
no. And what a
I've
great
seen somebody use the plastic bag method for rugs, and made lots of squares and put them together, put them in the bottom of a concrete horse stable where the floor's not level, and then throw sawdust over it. So if you've got a horse that's got poorly feet, or doesn't like to stand for too long a time because their feet swell, ankles, whatever, they make them up into mats, put the sawdust over the top so it's bouncy, and it keeps the horse off the water and the damp in the bottom of the stable.
yeah.
Oh,
That means you could use them as a rug mat underneath your rug. If you had a commercial rug in your house, you could make a mat to go underneath your rug.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool. And the fact that they did them too, Jane, for the homeless, that's really awesome. That's really
It is.
I thought
so cool.
that was a really nice project, but
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. And one of the beautiful things with our community moving forward is that I want to have people come in, teach their crafts. And like I said, Carol, so she's going to go to Ecuador and then we won't be able to learn. I said, no, I can video her teach from here while you're in Ecuador, and we could still do it. So we'll have to talk. That would be awesome.
She'll just the week before, she'll have to send us all an email or a Snapchat message, whatever message, Facebook message saying list of items you need, 10 squares, cut out this size by that size, this bit of whatever. So we've got a little itinerary list. So when we come on live, we're like, right, we're here, we're prepared, we're ready to go. Come on, Jane, let's rock.
I am taking my sewing machine and a bunch of brick because it's not, I don't know. We'll know on this exploratory trip when we go, but yeah, I like to sew. My hands don't always work. I put it down for a while, but my hands, I've been in some physical therapy and they're moving a little better. So like I say, I have to go with it when I've got good days, and then I sew a whole bunch and then I can't move my hands for 3 days after, but I can't let I can't let this take me away. I don't regret having it. It's just what I have. I had a career in law enforcement for 38 years with it. I'm blessed that I was able to do that. And I rode a Harley up until 2 years ago, and I don't have the balance. My balance goes. I don't want to be a fatality.
Yeah.
The Harleys are being, I've got a couple bikes, but those are being sold this spring, and so I sew instead. So yeah.
You'll have to let me know before you sell your Harley, because I sold mine to move out here, and I was going to it was going to be replaced with a mule, and we never got a mule either. But we are desiring to ride again. So I had mine for 9 years, and totally get it. That's awesome that you know. Have you ever tried the melt balls on your hands? Have you heard me talking about the melt method?
Mm-mm.
Check out TryerWilderness.com/melt method. The whole thing might be really good for you. There's a foam roller that I lay on, but the balls I use with my hands, and they're similar to, there's 2 different kinds. The one is hard like a super ball. The other one is kind of hard. Like, remember those balls that you would hit against the wooden paddle? And they were kind of spongier. So they're like that. So you've got the softer ball and then the harder balls. And you do certain movements with your hands with those. And it actually improves the fluid in your tissue. And it gets the fluid in your tissue throughout your body moving. But what it does is, I have problems with my hands too. And it gives me my function back in my hands. Obviously, because the fluid's starting to move, and I'm removing inflammation as well at the same time. And I know with MS, you deal with a lot of inflammation. I do that morning and night, and it is like life-changing. And that helped me with the lupus symptoms I had.
I've got the balls and the rollers. I guess, haven't used them. I was using them more for my back and my neck, but nerve pain is really untouchable in my eyes. I've tried everything.
Try the balls though, and see if that doesn't help getting the fluid moving in your system, because I'll tell you what, that was so helpful for me. And that's something that won't irritate your your nerves. Because most of do you feel it when you flare just in your back, or is it all over?
It's all over. I have the hug. I have spondylosis. I have back pain. I have, and you don't even want to know, cognitive thing. Cog fog is a big part of that's the reason I left law enforcement. Just my brain wasn't working with my mouth.
I understand.
That can get real.
Problem over here in England, love. Hello. That's what we English do. Brain doesn't work with gob.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, give that a try though. That has really helped me. And my friend that has lupus, when she uses it on a regular basis, she has less flares. So, if you are able to use it when you're not in pain, it might eliminate some of your pain moving forward. So I don't know, it's worth a try, because it was life-changing for me and for her. But
Okay.
and thank you for sharing all that. That was so awesome. And for asking Robin to share, because I could see her working on something. So I'm glad.
Mhm. I was curious because I want to get into, I thought maybe like crewel work, but I don't think I can do that anymore. That's too, I don't know. Sewing's a little different, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah, I've had to switch what type of knitting I do. I was using large needles and heavy yarns and doing more clothing and household stuff. And because of physical limitations, I've switched to the real thin yarn and the
You're
tiny
using the circle needle, aren't you?
and the tiny needles. They're not size 1, but I've done the size 1s for socks now. But
Awesome.
you have to adjust to whatever your hands will allow. And if somebody has hand and arm problems, using the circular needles takes the weight of the knitting off your hands and your arms. If you use the long knitting needles, you're carrying the weight of whatever you're knitting. If you use the circular knitting needles and still knit flat, you're not carrying the weight. And it makes a world of a difference if somebody's trying to figure out if they want to knit.
Good deal. I started with the round needles, so that's good to know, because I
Yes.
started with the round. I actually started, I made a dish rag first, but I went right from dish rags to socks, and using the round needle to make socks is so,
That's
I'm hooked on them. They're really awesome to work with. I didn't, but that's also good to know. And crewel, you said, what did Jane, it's called crewel?
Crewel work, embroidery work.
Oh, embroidery. Okay.
Yeah, that's real hot now. If you can find any of those, like, you know, somebody's made and framed in the thrift stores. And I thought, I used to do those all the time for Christmas gifts for my grandparents. And so I went online to look at some patterns, and I thought, well, you know, if I got a big enough frame, because you use a frame, you know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, and heavier thread.
Right.
So
Oh,
I might
cool.
try it. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
See.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you're not giving up on the stuff, because so many people, when they start to live in a place of pain, they quit. My grandmother, you know, had pain in her legs, so she just stopped moving. Well, that made things so much worse. And people don't realize that when you're in that position, you've got to self-monitor. And if you're, you know, you got to learn whether you're going to punish yourself or not, but you've got to self-monitor and keep moving as best you can. Otherwise, it really will get the best of you. So I'm just, you know, kudos to you that you're continuing to keep doing things despite, you know, the struggles you have. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah, you got it, sister.
That's it.
Yep.
And you just pick the project according to what your body allows that day.
That's
I've
right.
got different types of projects that I just pick according to what my hands or my arms will let me do that day.
Mhm.
Yep. That's smart.
And that makes it much more bearable rather than I can't, well, I'm picking this one today.
Mhm.
Awesome.
It
And it keeps
mentally
you-
makes a difference.
I
It
bet.
does.
I bet. And being able to do that is is key, because if it's the passions you enjoy doing, you know, and you suddenly have to stop, or you choose to stop, you know, you're out on what's feeding you, you know, and the things, those are our joys and our happiness. So that's just finding workarounds, and that's just so smart.
Mhm.
I have something else I want to read today. There's two things yet. This is James 1:22. Do not merely listen to the word, do what it says. I was talking about this a little bit last week, but James writes, prove yourselves doers of the word and not merely hearers who delude themselves. For For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his natural face in a mirror. For once he has gone away, he has immediately forgotten what kind of person he was. But one who looks intently at the perfect law and abides by it, not having become a forgetful hearer, but an effectual doer, this man will be blessed in what he does. In this scripture, the word man comes from the Greek word for male. Why is that significant? Because there's a difference in how men and women use a mirror. Men generally glance in it just long enough to get the basics done, whereas women are usually so intent on knowing how they look that they carry a mirror in their purse and check their looks regularly throughout the day. But don't miss the point. It's not about the difference in how men and women utilize mirrors. No, it's about the difference between spending a few hurried moments in the scripture before rushing out into your day, instead of meditating on it until it renews your mind and shapes your character into the likeness of Jesus. As you read the scripture, the Holy Spirit holds a mirror up in front of you so that you can make whatever adjustments are necessary. Note the words, whoever looks intently and continues in it will be blessed. It's a two-way street. To walk in God's blessing, you need to take care of the doing and he will take care of the blessing. I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to share that. And this one is John 15:3. Now ye are clean through the word. Your new nature is programmed to want to obey God in much the same way a calculator is programmed to compute numbers. When you put in the right information, you get the right response. And when you feed your new nature with God's word, it's designed to give you the right response. That's why Satan tries to keep you so busy doing other things that you don't spend time reading your Bible. His goal is to keep you weak and ineffective. Paul writes, we all, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image. And that's 2 Corinthians 3:18. A mirror is simply a reflector. And the more time you spend in God's word, the more you begin to reflect his likeness. But it won't happen by just reading a verse here and there or skimming through a passage. No, it calls for renewing your mind every day with God's word to the extent that the Holy Spirit connects with your spirit and produces a Christ-like lifestyle. Jesus said, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. That's John 15:3-4. When food dries on a plate, that plate needs to abide in some hot, soapy water so that all the junk can be removed. That's why you need to soak your mind in God's word. It removes not only gross sin, but hardened, baked on, stubborn attitudes that keep you from growing in grace. I just thought those were well written. And I wanted to touch on something today. I've had many people ask, what's that? I thought somebody said something, sorry. I wanted to share this because I've had a lot of people ask me this and I couldn't find the reference and it was bothering me. And today that's where God directed me. So I wanted to share this. You know that if you've been following me for quite a while, you know that my favorite verses are in James 1:2-4. Is, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. But what's really awesome is it continues on, and this is the part that people have asked me. It says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. The loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything they do. The reason I read that is I've had a lot of people say to me, how do you know how do you know God's there? And when I pray and I never hear him. I never hear a response. I don't feel like he's there. How do I know he's listening? Well, for one, God, we know that God is there all the time. When we've accepted God into our hearts and asked for forgiveness of our sins, God gifts us with the Holy Spirit, and God promises to be with us. And he will walk with us. He will carry us when necessary, but he's always present. We've been talking in our Bible study. The first book we read was Fervent, and it's about fervent prayer. And the reason I chose that as our first book for the Bible study is one of our most important tools in our tool belt. You heard me talking about the last couple of weeks is prayer, being able to pray to God. Now, the thing that was important with this is, I'm praying, and I don't see God answering. Well, for one, God doesn't answer in our time, and we need to remember that. God answers in his timing, and God doesn't always gift us with exactly what we're asking for, but he gifts us with what we need. And I point this out because when we pray and we're asking God for something, we need to have full faith and trust in our prayer, knowing that God will cover our needs. And again, maybe it may not be that $1 million tomorrow, but God will provide for your needs. And when we have full faith and trust, when we are lifting something to God, God will answer it, but he's going to answer it on his timing. We were in a financial quandary for 4 years. We prayed to God every day. We also trusted God every day, and we're very faithful. It was also when I started changing my prayer and thanking him for how he was going to answer that prayer and how he felt that prayer needed to be answered, and providing us with the perfect buyer. So, and sure enough, he did provide us with the perfect buyer, and he sold our home on Good Friday. But it was 4 years of praying. And you know what? We've got to learn to be faithful in the good times and the bad times. And we've got to have great faith and trust when we lift a prayer to God, that we know in our hearts that he is going to answer that prayer in his timing, in his will. And when we have that full faith and trust in him, that is what's most important. By having that full faith and trust in him, we are not walking out as that person that is wavering. And that's what that meant. And because I have so many people asking me about that, I wanted to touch on that, because when it says about wavering, it's our faith and our trust that's wavering. It's that we don't truly believe that God can fulfill that prayer, but we're going to ask it anyway. And we got to learn that when we go to God in fervent prayer, that we truly believe that he can and will answer those prayers. And like I said, he may not give you that $1 million you want tomorrow, but he will provide for your needs. And again, it will be in his timing. So we can't get angry and mad when God doesn't provide exactly when we want it to be provided for us. But what we can do is, through the words from today, grow in our situation and learn to pull as much as we can from the situations that we have to walk out. And as we're walking out, grow our perseverance, but also grow in him. The more we grow in him, the more we will find strength to walk through anything and everything. And that's what I love. I love my close walk with God. I love the ability to talk to him about anything. And you know what? You can get angry at God, and God isn't going to punish you. He isn't going to strike you with lightning. He's going to love you. It's a natural instinct to show emotion, and that's not a sin. It's just us being real with our Papa. And he's ready for that. He knows our heart. He knows we're walking out. He knows our struggles, and he turns to us in love in those situations. So I just want to encourage you guys that, you know, I strongly admit that it's hard walking out much of what people are walking out today. It's hard being alone. It's hard being cooped up. It's hard turning on the TV and seeing the chaos and the oddities that are going on. It's hard watching America in its current position. But I have great peace and comfort because I know God is going to work it all out. And much of what we see and what we are experiencing, we cannot change. But we can pray. And prayer is, like I've been saying, our greatest tool to pray for our leaders, to pray for our families, and to have that relationship with God. Because through all of this, the only thing that's going to give you the peace and comfort you are seeking is Him. And when you start seeking Him, you will find joy and happiness in your day-to-day. And know that He is there, because you will start focusing and seeing the amazing blessings that He provides for us. And that's why it's so important to have our journals and to be able to focus on the good things that God is doing in our lives. Toika says you're still here. Yes, we're still here. And Nicole is in the house. Good deal. And Deb says she loves embroidery work and crewel needlework. You guys all have amazing talents. And I think that you ought to come to the community when you guys finish projects and share your projects and write something about them and share those in the community, because that is the beautiful and amazing thing about the community. It is like going into a Facebook group and being able to just share and communicate. And the beautiful thing is we've just got such an amazing, like-minded, faith-led audience that I give God the glory. I tell you this all the time, every day, because I see other channels and the trolls and the negativity and the nastiness. And I see, you know, I hear other friends saying, you know, what they're dealing with. And we just don't have that. We are attracting like-minded, faith-led people, and it has just been amazing what God is doing. So I'm so thankful that that community is live, and I'm so blessed by what's being shared in it already. So if you guys haven't joined, please go to TrayerWilderness.com/community. It is free. The Kids Corner is free. It's every Friday at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. And you can subscribe and join that by going to TrayerWilderness.com/Kids Corner. And I am going to be releasing our free bread baking course today, later today. I actually was able to work on that at the doctor's office yesterday, so that was good. They had Wi-Fi, so me and my iPhone were busy. But Toika, is your surgery on tomorrow still? Update us on that. And Shelly says, once I stretch the cross-stitched birth announcement for the granddaughter, I will take a picture. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, please do. Shelly is doing a lot of knitting, and she also just got a spinning wheel and is going to be starting to spin her own wool. Kelly has sheep and does spin her own wool already. Wow. So we've got a lot of very talented people here, and we're going to all learn from one another, because I'm really going to get Deb says, I knew I liked you, horse girl, Carol. Deb is a horse lover too. That's funny. Yeah.
I've actually been asked to leave a yard because I pamper my horses too much.
Oh, brother.
I used to wash their rugs every time they got wet and muddy, put fresh ones on. Whenever we rode, the number went straight in the washing machine, a fresh one would be put out. I made my daughter do her tack every single time she'd ridden. I made her take it all apart, clean it all, put it all back together, fresh number, back in the bag, back in the yard. And they used to, and like a lot of them do this like deep cleaning, you know, like just take the, oh God, no. I have to go in, take the whole lot out, wash it out, disinfectant, fresh back in again every day. I can't do the deep clean. No, just.
That's why they wanted you to leave, because you were making them look bad. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? You got to care for your animals, and you got to care for your equipment. If you don't, it doesn't last.
They were expensive babies. There was no way I was doing that. And I mean, if I took the coat off you and threw it in the mud puddle and got it all covered in mud and water and asked you to put it back on again, would you wear it? No way would you. But you expect me to put that on my horse? I don't think so.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And Deb's probably on here cheering you on. I know it. I know it. She just doesn't comment.
I had a little foal once called Flicker, a little Dartmoor Hill pony, only little tiny thing. And he got absolutely caked in mud and rubbish from the field from where they were digging trenches. Don't ask. And I used to have a little bungalow, which is like one level house. I don't know what you call it over there, but one level house.
Okay.
And if you go through the back door, I had a wet room, which was like, you know, the whole room was wet. So I took the pony home, come in through the kitchen, took him in the shower. I put some cold water in the sink so he could have a drink while I had the shower running over him. It was nice and warm. And I went to make a cup of tea. And I didn't realise my son had come in from sea. He's a fisherman. He'd come in from sea through the front door, burst him for a wee, ran through the house, ran in the bathroom, screamed. I heard the door slam. He come running in the kitchen. He's like, Mum, there's a horse in the shower. I went, oh, my Lord, did you hurt him? Have you upset him? Is he going nuts? He went, there's a horse in the, did you hear what I said? There's a horse in the shower. I said, I know, it's Flicker. Why is he in the shower? I said, because he was dirty. He's just having a shower. And I said, did you scare him? I think he scared me more, Mum. And he just laughed. He still laughs about it now. But that's what I'm like.
That's so funny. So your wet room is a room that enables you to just get the whole thing wet. So kind of like our mud room, but different.
Yeah, it's just a giant shower, toilet, sink, everything. Just don't take towels in. They get wet.
Right, so you can spray stuff off and clean stuff up and have a room to clean back.
Ponies too.
Ponies too. That is so great.
My neighbour was like, Carol, yeah, there's a horse in your garden. I said, oh, if you wait 20 minutes, there'll be another 3. She went, why? I said, my friend's coming for lunch.
You're a hoot.
We went through the drive-in, McDonald's drive-in, on horseback.
Did they allow you to do that?
Well, I did knock on the window. I walked round first. My friend held the horse and I knocked on the window and I said, excuse me. I said, I know it's only cars and vans, but are you allowed round by horses? And he went, are they going to go nuts? I went, no, they're very well trained. And he went, that's fine. So I got back on the horse. All 3 of us came forward. So we went down the line of what we ordered on the speaker, went up to the window and he's like, can I take a picture? Because this is the first. I went, yeah, help yourself.
Love it, Carol. I love it.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I don't care.
And had your picnic lunch somewhere?
No, we ate on horseback on the way back to the yard. It's a long way.
Oh.
We were doing road work for the ponies.
Okay. You're a trip. I love it. I'm sure Deb says mine are out in the foot of snow with their own thick furry coats, just running around feeling their oats and loving the beauty of God's fresh, white, clean snow.
I'll show her a picture of can she see this?
Let me see. Oh yeah.
That's Silver. That was my horse, Silver.
Okay.
He was an Appaloosa cross Percheron.
Wow. Pretty big too, right?
He's beautiful.
Yeah. Toika's laughing at your other.
Where is she? Toika, where are you, girl?
She's on YouTube, so we'll get her on the line.
That's not good, is it?
And Deb says my horses are on 4 acres to run free.
Oh, beautiful.
Funny, Carol. And is her accent not the best? I so love it. This is awesome. This is so awesome. So did you guys have fun today? Was this not the best? I like this.
Oh, yes.
I like this. So we're going to keep doing this, right? The face-to-face. This is good. I'm going to have to get my stand here, like next to me. I got my phone, so I get the stand there so I can see that moving and this one moving so I can keep it all on. But this worked out pretty good. This worked out real good.
Cool. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
It was really good. It's nice to, like you say, put faces. Some have little pictures, but you like that.
I know.
Trying to see the pictures. So sometimes it's nice to have, hello, I'm here. Yeah. Toika girl, you need to get on here. You haven't got my back.
I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, sing the tune, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Shelley says, love your stories, Carol, and love the accent, right? I know, I love it. This is so much fun.
Where's our mountain man?
What's that?
Where's our mountain man?
The mountain man has been fabricating. I'm going to do another live video. I'll go out later and show you. He's been fabricating for the last 4 days. I put a post out yesterday. We've been kind of boring this week. I've been behind a keyboard typing like crazy and kind of nerdy. And he's been out there. I took a picture last night. He was welding, and his clear plastic there in the front of the shop was like bright blue. I was over here and took a picture of it. The thing was just glowing. So I said he was in his
He's like a mad scientist, isn't he?
yep, his inner genius and his mad scientist was working together.
Bless him.
Yep. So I'll go because Caleb wanted to see what he was welding. So I'm going to go do a live video out there in a little bit after I make sure it's safe and we won't all blow up. And
Oh, I'll go and get a cup of tea and a Becky then.
all right, you go do that. I'm going to say a prayer for us
I've
quick.
got me cup.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Got me large mug. I'm ready to go.
I know you got to have, he is very upset with my mugs because I take half the coffee pot in one swig, right?
My tea as well. Yeah.
You got to have a big cup, regardless what you're drinking. It's got to be a big cup.
Oh, I like it. Oh, I like yours, Jane.
Wake up.
Honey, it's nearly time to go to bed. It's nearly 8:30.
No, it's lunch.
For
Yeah,
you.
We torture poor Carol when we're talking about all the food because she's literally either in bed or getting ready to go to bed, and we're talking about food when I've been doing the live videos recently.
One live you did. I was here until 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, thank God you couldn't see me. I needed scaffolding or matchsticks or something to hold my eyeballs, and I was like, I am staying till the end. And I woke up in the morning, I was like that. Oh no, is it morning? Really?
So it was good that we didn't have the Zoom going on then when we were doing that one.
Oh, you don't want to see me in my fur pajamas, I tell you. No, no.
Well, but we can do that. We can have pajama parties. We can have hat
now that
days.
yeah,
We
now
can
that
have
we
coffee
Zoom
mug,
together.
tea mug days.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna
I like-
expand this. We're gonna expand this for sure.
I
Okay.
like that.
I'm going to read these on here. Deb says, gorgeous. I have raised quarter Appaloosa Chris horses for 47 years. Still have the siblings that are related to my first filly born to me in 1973. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Next week for sure. Changed my appointment time to another day. Okay. So you're not tomorrow. Okay. Keep us posted what day it is so we can be praying for you. Shelley says, one day I will join you. I cannot be at work when we are Zooming. I know we'll have to figure a time that works for you so that we can make sure you get on here. And Toyka says, lol, the Brady Bunch. Right.
We need you, girl. Come on, Toyka.
Oh, it's going to get wild and crazy on here. I can tell. This is going to be so much fun though. But I'm going to say a prayer so you guys can get back today. I am so blessed by you all. This was awesome. I'm blessed by you guys just chatting with me, but this was a full blessing today. This was absolutely awesome. So, and thank you, Robin, for your kind words. I'm so glad I could be there for you. That touched my heart. And I'm so glad that nurtured you in a time of need. That's just so awesome. Because I know how much you guys have nurtured me in my times of need. So that's really, really awesome. God is good. God just uses us as vessels. And I'm so thankful to be a vessel. That's just awesome. I'm anxious to hear about your puppy too when you get your puppy. So that'll be awesome. We'll keep doing this weekly. Well, actually, right now it's scheduled every month. The last Thursday of every month we'll do the Zoom, but we'll see. I'm thinking that's what I said, but this would be good to do every week like this, don't you think? All right, we'll do that. Okay, then we'll switch. All right, we'll switch. We'll just do it every week this way. This works out good. So I'm going to say a prayer here. Papa, I just thank you so much for your mercy and grace, for your hand and visible presence in our community. Just thank you for how you are using us, and thank you for how you are being present in everyone's lives, nurturing others through our community, through what we do here. And I just thank you so much for that. It's just such a blessing to know that we are being a light, and that is our greatest privilege, is to be a light for you and an honor. And I just ask that you wrap your loving arms around everyone in our community and those watching the replays. Just love on them, provide for their needs. Be with Jane's MS and her day-to-day struggles. I know what they're like. So just nurture her and continue to bless her. Be with Robin as she is working and healing herself, and also being able to just have such a positive mindset and being able to nurture her plants and her bird and her future dog, and just wrap your loving arms around her and just continue to heal her body. And be with Anita and her husband, Steve, I believe it was, just help Steve to heal. Also be with Jane and her healing from the COVID, but just nurture them and help Anita also. It's hard being cooped up, so I just ask that you be with Carol and Anita and anyone else that is stuck in home and unable to leave and just unable to have that face-to-face time that they need. Just nurture them, love them, and give them peace and comfort during that time. And just allow us to continue to be a light and encouragement and inspiration to everyone out there. And be with Deb in her business ventures. Be with Toika with her healing and her surgery. We just ask that you get this all resolved for her, and just be with Kelly and her family, and Shelly and hers, and Tammy and her family as well. And be with Nicole and her family. And Lord, just thank you for this opportunity today to be face to face. How amazing this was. It was so much fun. Thank you for blessing us with this time. Thank you for blessing me with the abilities to be able to do these things. And I just thank you for what you're doing in our community. I thank you for all that you are going to do for each of these individuals. And just thank you for your blessing of your son. We love you and ask this all in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, guys, this was awesome. I love you all so much. I love you all so much. This is so cool. So guys,
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
Just one. Bless you, Mountain Man and Austin as well. And the pooches, of course, the foot muffs. But I've got on this thing. How the hell do I get off?
All right. If you move, are you on your laptop?
No, my phone.
Okay. On your phone, you should anybody else on their phone?
I am. Just push your face, Carol. Touch your nose or something, and it should bring up your controls.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to end it and get everybody off of here. So you guys have a fabulous, fabulous day. I love you all, and God bless you all.
Night, love, night.
Night, love. Good night, love. I'm so sorry.
Nice to meet you guys.
See ya.
Bye.